Live from Citizen TV, this is Friday Night with Lillian Mooney.
Hello there, and many thanks for joining us. As always, it's such a pleasure to have you with us here on the show. Emmanuel, Kenya has received its first batch of HIV prevention injectables. The drug is going by the name lenacapavir, and this signals a new beginning in the fight against HIV, at least as regards new infections. But a lot of you have been asking questions around this drug. Is it a vaccine? Is it a preventative medicine? Who is it targeted to? Who will be accessing it? Where will it be accessed? How much is it? We'll be giving you all the details around that later in the show.
Yes, we're looking forward to a bit more information on that later. We also have the sports coming at the end. We have some preps coming up to the Safari Rally. The WRC Safari Rally is just around the corner. So please make sure you stay tuned to the end to get more information on that.
Right, and for now, let's take a look at stories making headlines tonight.
Whether it is disturbing some people or it is catching them on the wrong side, that is not really our worry. Our worry is our people, our worry is our party, our worry is our share.
It is an irreducible minimum. ODM leader Oburu Oginga insists the party will go for the DP position in talks with UDA.
There are things that belongs to the family, Odinga family, for whom I also have interest. But my net worth is about 500 million.
Few questions, many praises. Ida Odinga's vetting by the Foreign Affairs Committee was dominated by congratulatory messages rather than tough interrogation. Running battles and stone throwing. 2 people nursing gunshot wounds following fierce clashes between traders and county askaris in Kitengela town.
They always move in a group of between 5 to 6. If you don't have anything, sometimes they just knife you directly.
From Nairobi to Nakuru, brazen criminal gangs tighten their grip as security chiefs hold an emergency meeting to curb the surging crime wave. Good evening. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Yula Nzale. Friday night starts now, and ODM party leader Oburu Oginga says the ODM will not back down from the push for the deputy president's seat, even if it rattles sections of their ruling UDA party. Oburu says the DP seat is paramount among other key interests which the ODM party will negotiate for from a position of strength. Meanwhile, the Linda Monanchi faction of the ODM party has vowed to proceed with its planned rally at Amalemba grounds in Kakamega County on Saturday, despite an attack on a track transporting its public address system. Siaya Governor James Orengo says the movement remains unstoppable, describing it as a political tsunami no force can hold back. Melita Oletenges reports.
ODM leader Oburu Oginga today met ward representatives from Siaya County to strategize on the party's next political move in the region. Oburu maintained that ODM will take the lead in negotiations with UDA and made it clear that the deputy president's position is on the Orange Party's agenda.
Whether it is disturbing some people or it is catching them on the wrong side, that is not really our worry. Our worry is our people, our worry is our party, our worry is our share.
Oburu says ODM will approach the negotiation table from a position of strength, banking on the party's numbers and political influence.
And we are not going to negotiate from a point of weakness. We are going to negotiate from a point of strength and from a point of view of numbers.
His remarks come even as tension escalates within the party. Earlier today, a truck transporting public address equipment for the Linda Mwananchi rally in Amalemba grounds, Kakamega County, was stoned by unknown individuals in Riat, Kisumu. The truck had been provided by a well-wisher after the faction experienced sound challenges at a recent rally in Kitengela. Leaders allied to the Linda Mwananchi faction, speaking shortly after the incident, strongly condemned the attack.
You know that at the very beginning, when we were fighting for multi-party democracy, the state resorted to thuggery, and the state now is resorting to those measures, which is very unfortunate.
The leaders have accused President William Ruto of targeting critics of his administration.
No force on earth is going to stand on our way. So rest assured that with their machinations, this meeting is going to take place.
We have never seen a government that has panicked to this level, just because Kenyans are trying to exercise their constitutional right of assembly, constitutional right of expression, and freedom of speech.
As the Linda Ground faction prepares for its rally in Siaya tomorrow and Linda Mwananchi leaders head to Amalemba in Kakamega, the parallel meetings are further exposing widening cracks within the ODM party. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
Away from that, the widow of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has told Parliament that her personal net worth stands at 500 million shillings. Appearing before a parliamentary committee for vetting over her nomination to represent Kenya at the United Nations, Dr. Ida Odinga made the disclosure as part of the mandatory wealth declaration process. The veteran teacher and long-time education advocate said she is ready to leverage her decades in the classroom and her experience in community advocacy to champion Kenya's and the region's environmental interests on the global stage. She told MPs she would prioritize sustainable development, climate resilience, and stronger regional collaboration if approved for the diplomatic post.
A few minutes to 10 a.m. Friday morning, and the convoy ferrying Dr. Ida Odinga snaked its way into Parliament buildings for the start of her vetting by the Departmental Committee on Defence, Intelligence and Foreign Affairs. Inside the packed chamber, the mood was a delicate balance of scrutiny and solidarity.
I, Ida Betty Odinga, do swear that
Members of Parliament fired probing questions, testing her vision, experience and readiness for the task ahead.
The UN is facing a serious...
Yet amid the intense exchanges, there was a quiet show of support from colleagues across the political divide and from families seated just behind her, represented by her daughter, Rosemary Odinga, a constant pillar of strength for a mother, now stepping into a global role as Kenya's ambassador and permanent representative to the UNEP.
How do you intend to demonstrate your professional, intellectual, personal capacity required to discharge the demanding responsibilities of Kenya's permanent representative to UNEP?
How you intend to promote international cooperation on environmental issues?
Areas where I've worked, those areas have equipped me with a lot of knowledge on how to handle issues. Sometimes they're almost the same, because it will involve planning, it will involve executing, it will involve working with the people who are knowledgeable in those areas, evaluating your work, and eventually seeing if you can meet that target.
Ida told the committee that her extensive teaching and advocacy work had prepared her for the role she was nominated to by President Ruto in the wake of the death of her husband, who she honored during this vetting.
He always encouraged me and supported me as I pursue my dreams. He was a constant supportive pillar in my life.
During the session, Dr. Odinga made a significant financial disclosure, distinguishing her estate from that of the broader Odinga family.
There are things that belongs to me, Ida, and then there are things that belongs to the family, the Odinga family, for whom I also have interest. But my net worth is about 500 million.
The session was brief and lasted less than an hour, with MPs opting to acknowledge her contribution to the country's liberation struggle.
I don't have any question, but I just want to say the reason I don't have any question is because in law, we say res ispa loquita. The facts speak for themselves. Honorable Ida Odinga, aka Mama, is overqualified for this position.
If confirmed, Dr. Ida Odinga will represent Kenya at the UNEP headquarters right here in Nairobi and become Kenya's official voice at the United Nations on environmental matters. She will represent Kenya in high-level meetings and international forums where global environmental policies are shaped. The committee is expected to retreat and table its report for the full House to debate next week. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Now, tension remains high in Kitengela, Kajiado County after 2 women were shot and injured during clashes between traders, Kajiado County askaris and police officers. The violence, now entering its 3rd day on Friday, follows the county's decision to relocate traders from the roadside to a newly constructed market. Authorities say the escalation has been fueled by goons taking advantage of the situation to spread chaos. Security agencies have launched a 5-day operation to flash out criminals, as Kitengela reports.
For the past 3 days, traders clashed repeatedly with Kajiado County askaris and police officers in fierce running battles. Using stones, frustrated traders blocked the roads leading to the market, forcing police to fire shots into the air to disperse the crowds. During the clashes, 2 women were shot and sustained serious injuries. Traders who rescued them and rushed them to Kitengela Sub-County Hospital say the women were hit despite not taking part in the protests. At the center of dispute is the relocation of traders operating along the busy Nairobi-Namanga highway, a move opposed by the traders who argue they cannot fit into the newly constructed market.
Sisi hatujajua shida yetu kwa sababu hata hapo kitambo tulikuwa na agreement tutakaa kwa barabara juu hatukuwa tumepata space pale kwa ile soko mpya. Na wakatuambia tukae kwa barabara tufunguange saa 5 tukigojea soko mpya inajengwa hapa chini. Sasa hatujui agreement nyingine ama hii mambo nyingine ya kutoka kwa barabara imetoka wapi na iliongelelewa wapi.
We have enough space in our market. 653 slots, empty slots in that market. In fact, if you go there, the first floor, the ground floor, and the 3rd floor. The first floor and the ground floor are completely empty, and the ground floor is half empty.
Hakuna hoka ametuletea shida. Shida ni goons. Tumewatambua, tumetoa honyo, hawezi tufanyia vile walifanya the other day. Na kitu kingine ningesema, tumepanga kufanya msako kuanzia siku ya leo. Siku 5 kuanzia leo.
Authorities have appealed to traders to remain calm as they seek ways to resolve the stalemate. The traders have demanded justice for the 2 who were shot during the clashes. Kitengela, Citizen TV.
And a new wave of violent crime is sweeping through Nairobi and Nakuru, with stabbings on the rise in Nakuru, while boda riding gangs terrorize residents in broad daylight in Nairobi. In just 3 days, security in Nakuru has deteriorated sharply, with 3 killed and 38 stabbed in a series of brutal robberies. In Nairobi, an emergency security meeting was called after motorcycle riding criminals launched coordinated attacks on the public. Willie Lusiga reports.
Valentine's Day turned into a nightmare for Dr. Magare Gikenyi. A surgeon at Nakuru Referral Hospital was ambushed by thugs while inside his car in London Estate, Nakuru West. The armed attacker struck without mercy, making off with his valuables.
They said, tupe pesa. Matupe pesa matukufinye. Na lightning speed. They just took all what we had.
Dr. Gikenyi says he never imagined such attack in Nakuru, a town that had long been relatively calm. Ironically, he has been the one performing surgeries on victims of stabbing attacks.
They always move in a group of between 5 to 6. If you don't have anything, sometimes they just knife you directly.
The same tragedy unfolds in Ronda Estate, Nakuru West. The family of Martin Muthoni Thogo is still grappling with grief after burying their loved one who was stabbed and robbed late last month.
Sasa tukaripoti police station na hatujapata hata usaidizi yoyote. Serikali, ulinzi hapa Nakuru imekuwa chini sana. Watusaidie kabisa kwa maana hata biashara zetu tunafunga mapema juu ya kuogopa.
In Bomet, another family mourns 24-year-old Benjamin Kipyegon, stabbed to death in Milimani Estate, Nakuru Town West on February 4th.
Akavamiwa akielekea kwa nyumba. Ilikuwa saa 4 hivi, kielekea saa 5. Sisi tulienda police station, tukaenda tukapata watu wa DCI, maskari wa DCI, tukaongea na wao. Juzi nikimpigia simu kaniambia data wacha collect data, kumaanisha walienda wakalala.
Nakuru County Police Commander confirms a sharp rise in crime recently. Official figures show that 8 people were stabbed in 2 months, 3 killed by criminals, and 1 suspect lynched by the public. Authorities have now ordered a major security crackdown.
Mpaka kwa sasa hatujaweza kupata a very good breakthrough over the matter, but we are still on it. We are investigating.
As crime escalates, emergency meeting of top security officials was held on Friday in Nairobi after the public lynched 2 suspects involved in attacks on residents. The gang had allegedly ridden motorcycles from a public event attended by President William Ruto in Lakisama, moving across the city robbing people without fear. Video show boda riding thugs robbing members of the public in broad daylight, sweeping from Lakisama, Thika Road, Westlands and Kileleshwa to Kilimani. This video shows suspects fleeing on a motorcycle after snatching a handbag from 2 women. One of them drops the bag before picking it up again. In another location, a different group is seen robbing pedestrians mercilessly before speeding off on motorcycles. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Let's cross over to Makueni, where in Makueni County Referral Hospital, there's an issue. The referral hospital is on the spot over a dental surgery that went wrong. According to a patient who sought services at the facility in the year 2021, negligence from medics who attended to her during a tooth extraction exposed her to risks that almost cost her life, and she had to undergo other surgeries to rectify the mess. As Franklin Wala reports, Makueni County Referral Hospital asserts that it offered its best services to the patient, allegations that will be under scrutiny by the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council.
Evelyn Kamanthe visited Makueni County Referral Hospital on the 27th of October, where a dentist recommended tooth removal.
Aliponiangalia, aliamka tu na kwenda kung'oa meno. So daktari akaniambia, usipokubali ni kung'oa hii meno, umekataa nikikutibu, na tutapatana kwa hospitali mingi ukitafuta matibabu. So, wacha nifanye kazi yangu.
After the tooth extraction process, she was given medication. Her situation became worse. This affected the lower jaw, which started swelling due to an infection. The procedure almost cost her life.
Kawa hii side iko na uchungu mingi, hii yenye ilikuwa imeng'olewa meno. Siwezi pitisha hata ulimi hiyo side kwa hizo meno. Sasa ikawa kuna kakitu kadogo kameanza hapa, kwa uvimbe. Hapo mahali hiyo meno iling'olewa. Sasa kukawa kunatoka uzaa.
Upon further consultation with the dental department at Makueni Referral, she was referred to a facility in Nairobi for specialized treatment.
Daktari akuja akaniambia mali imefikia, itabidi tukutoe nyama iende Kenyatta. Utalipa 20,000. Nikamuuliza kwa nini, akaniambia lower jaw imeaffectiwa.
The unfortunate events cost her marriage. She was chased out of her matrimonial home. She mobilized funds and underwent surgery to remove the infected lower jaw. She awaits a third surgery, grafting.
Sasa hii nangojea kutolewa mpupa ambao itatolewa. Daktari alisema itatolewa hapa. Ndio itengenezwe artificial jaw. Ndio ifikie kuwekwa meno.
Officials at the dental department at Makueni Referral say they did their best during their first surgery.
Came back complaining that there was a bit of negligence on the side of the hospital. We referred back later to Nairobi University Dental Hospital. At the university, the patient was diagnosed after doing biopsy and the right investigation, was diagnosed of a bone tumor.
Officials at the facility say they are ready to re-evaluate the dental situation and are willing to collaborate and ensure the best for their patient.
The patient was given a bill when the surgery was done, how much it will cost. After that, the patient hasn't gone back to the hospital again. Advise the patient to come back to the facility.
Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
Back here in Nairobi County, the Nairobi County Assembly has unanimously approved the formation of a 21-member ad hoc committee to review the cooperation agreement between the county and national government and evaluate the Assembly's role in its implementation. The committee will begin sittings immediately, hold public participation sessions, and submit its report within 11 days. During a special Assembly sitting, members commended the agreement, describing it as a crucial step toward enhancing service delivery for Nairobi residents. Mary Morki reports.
In a special sitting on Friday afternoon, Nairobi members of the County Assembly formally began the process of scrutinizing the cooperation agreement between the county and national governments, starting with the selection of a 21-member ad hoc committee. The committee, expected to complete its mandate within 11 days, faced questions over its legitimacy from Kileleshwa Ward MP Robert Alai, who opposed its formation, describing it as a duplication of roles.
I find it wrong for us to come to the House to compose an ad hoc committee to debate a matter which can easily be handled by the sectoral committees. Why don't we use the Budget Committee and the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee?
The Honourable member has not taken time to understand that this committee has a duty and has a timeline of 11 days. Honourable Speaker, this is just to ratify and to look and to collect public views and bring a report into this House.
The ad hoc committee has been tasked with conducting public participation sessions across the county and assessing the impact of the agreement on the budget-making process for the current and upcoming financial years. In response to the concerns that the agreement might usurp the powers of the House, Waithaka MCA, who also serves as the minority leader, sought to reassure members and allay those fears.
It's a collaboration, not a transfer of services. It is a historic moment that the drafters of the Constitution envisioned that Nairobi should and must collaborate with the national government. We as an assembly retain our oversight role. That is not going anywhere.
Establish an ad hoc committee to consider the cooperation agreement executed between the Nairobi City County Government and the Government of the Republic of Kenya, and to report to the County Assembly of Nairobi.
The agreement, which provides for collaboration between the two levels of government, will inject an additional 80 billion in funding aimed at accelerating infrastructure and service delivery projects. With that, the Assembly unanimously voted to establish the ad hoc committee.
To table a report before the County Assembly of Nairobi recommending approval of the agreement with or without amendments or otherwise. May as many of the similar opinions say ayes. May as many of the contrary opinions say nays. The ayes have it.
Mary Mwoki, Citizen TV.
President William Ruto has once again reiterated his commitment to improve the country's infrastructural status in accordance with promises he made to Kenyans to transform the country. The president, who spoke at State House when he hosted Methodist Church clergy on Friday, said that he will ensure that he pays 120 billion shillings pending university debts to keep institutions of higher learning afloat. Elsewhere in Nyeri, Deputy President Professor Kindiki led a host of Kenya Kwanza leaders at an empowerment event, saying the government is committed to fulfill promises made to Kenyans during 2022 campaigns. Crispin Otieno with that report.
Your Excellencies. It was during a special meeting at State House where President William Ruto played host to hundreds of clergy from the Methodist Church on Friday. President Ruto used the platform to underscore some of the government's efforts to resuscitate institutions of higher learning in Kenya, saying he is committed to see 120 billion shillings owed to the universities cleared. The president saying he saved 21 universities from bankruptcy.
We had a very serious education problem. Our funding for universities was inadequate. In fact, some universities could not pay salaries. Public universities, 21 public universities, were technically insolvent.
The State House meeting with men of the cloth also provided a chance for President Ruto to highlight his administration's infrastructural development roadmap in the country.
We still have a deficit in infrastructure. We still don't have enough roads. We don't have a good airport. Our railway is not complete. Our ports are not proper. Barabara haitoshi. Bado tunasumbuana, barabara hapa kidogo, barabara hapa kidogo. Ndio nimeambia wizara, we are designing and prioritizing 28,000 new kilometers of roads to be built in the next 7 years.
Hundreds of kilometers away, Deputy President Professor Kindiki was leading an empowerment drive in Nyeri. Here, leaders stand up for economic empowerment for Miariro women groups and small-scale traders at Asian quarters. The DP assuring Kenyans of major infrastructural boost, especially after payment of 177 billion shillings debt to contractors.
Wakati huu ambapo sasa ndio hata mambo ya serikali imeanza kufunguka kwa sababu uchumi umedhibitika kidogo. Sasa ndio wakati wa kurusha mawe na kupiga kelele. Si sasa ndio wakati wa kukamua serikali.
Kindiki called out the united opposition for what he termed as early campaigns.
Siangoje, my friend. Hey, just wait. What is the problem? Hakuna kura. Iko kura inapigwa kesho. Iko kura inapigwa next week. Iko kura next month. Halafu watu wengine wanafikiri sisi ni kumbavu, hatufikiri.
Leaders who accompanied Kindiki also backed the Kenya Kwanza development roadmap in the country.
Tutakuwa viongozi wajinga wa mwisho kuja kuahidi mambo ambayo hayatafanyika. Na governor ametuambia, ametuwekea mtihani. Kazi ni kwetu sasa tuhakikishe barabara ya Marwa imefika Nyeri town.
Ningetaka nieleze kwa nini niko hapa. Tunaelewana? Tunaelewana? Niko hapa kwa sababu mimi nataka kuelekeza watu wa Nyeri kupata haki yao kwa siku ambazo zimebaki za hii serikali. Tunaelewana?
Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
We're taking a very short break and we'll be back with much more, including all your questions answered around the new HIV prevention injectable that landed in the country just this very week. We'll be getting details around that. Take a look. A potential game changer in the fight against HIV, from rollout, access and cost. What the Lenapavir jab means for Kenya, who qualifies, and if it will be within reach. be dominated by the push for constitutional order, protection of human rights, and adherence to the rule of law. Ayub Abdikadir reports on the defining presidency that awaits Charles Kanjama.
Upon assumption of office, the senior counsel and his team will embark on leading the legal body during a defining 2 years, a period that includes the general elections in 2027 and a litany of public interest litigation likely to crop up. The senior counsel bar, while congratulating Kanjama, reminded him of the demanding task ahead. The bar noting that his office should serve all members, notwithstanding differences during the campaigns, and restoring faith in the governance of the society. Kanjama, who garnered 3,728 votes and who will succeed Faith Odhiambo, is an advocate with over 2 decades of practice and is expected to lead legal navigation in fortifying professional ethics, reforms within the lawyers' lobby, public interest litigation and civic education. The 2024 demonstrations which led to loss of lives, a frozen compensation panel where his predecessor resigned from following public pressure, quest for constitutionalism and rule of law remain priority areas for the president-elect and are expected to hive off a substantial amount of his time and that of his new team. Charles Kanjama, who previously served as the chairperson of the Nairobi branch, serving for 2 consecutive terms, will lead LSK on a defining year in 2027, with the opposition questioning the procurement of election technology by the IEBC and a multi-stakeholders convention in Nairobi recently, which decried early campaigns and violence in the aftermath of the rallies that have led to loss of lives. He becomes the LSK's 52nd president and takes over a presidency that has proved vital in Kenya's governance discourse, a tradition that will prove more crucial as the country gears up for consequential elections in 17 months' time. Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
Now, a family from Timboroa in Baringo is seeking help to repatriate the body of their kin who reportedly died in the war between Russia and Ukraine. 25-year-old Kevin Kango traveled to Russia in September last year under a student visa after he reportedly got a scholarship to study in the foreign nation. Their call comes days after an intelligence report said that 1,000 Kenyans were recruited into the Russian military in the ongoing war under the lure of jobs. Laura Otieno reports.
A dark cloud of grief hangs over the home of Jacob Njehia at Timboroa village in Baringo. Family and friends gather here, gripped by the uncertainty of when they will get the body of their kin for burial. 25-year-old Kevin Kango left this place in September 2025 after he reportedly got a scholarship to study in Russia.
Akanipigia simu akaniambia, dadi, ile application yangu ya Russia, email inaniambia application iko successful na kama bado niko interested. So akareply na akasema ako interested.
The family says Kevin was required to undergo military training before beginning classes. For about 2 months, these pictures offered comfort to this family before the line went cold on 28th October. In January, the family received news that Kevin died in December while battling on the front line in the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Kapata courage, nikamuuliza sasa kama imeenda hivyo, mwili nitapata namna gani? Ama ikitokea namna hiyo mwili huwa inafikia familia namna gani? Kijana kaniambia front line ni kubaya. Huko ni marisasi na mabomu 24/7 usiku na mchana. So recovery team kuingia kule ndio waweze kuretrieve mwili itakuwa ngumu. So ndio nikamuuliza si mwili itakuwa imeoza. Kaniambia huko ni barafu. Bado mwili ziko fresh. Ta wakati nilikuwa anaenda front line, alipata watu wenye waliaga kama mwezi wa 8 huko na bado mwili ni fresh.
Ombi langu kwa serikali na ninaiamini sana ni kwamba watu support tu mahali wanaweza, yani mahali tuseme mahali tumefika sisi, tumefika mwisho, watusaidia hapo mahali pengine, na ninaamini watatusaidia na watatushika mkono.
The revelation comes a day after the Russian embassy in Kenya denied claims of luring Kenyans to fight in the war. This family is now holding on to hope that they shall at least get closure by receiving the body and according Kevin a decent burial. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Now, elsewhere in Mombasa, the family of Desmond Barak, a Nairobi businessman, is devastated after finding his body at the Coast General Teaching and Referral Morgue in Mombasa. Desmond, a Nairobi businessman, is said to have landed in Mombasa early January, only to go missing days after his arrival. According to the hospital, Desmond Barak was involved in an accident and brought in by a Good Samaritan, but no records were taken of the person who brought him. Francis Mtalaki reports from Mombasa.
For more than a month, the family of Desmond Barak had been searching for him in Mombasa after he went missing shortly after arriving in the city for business early January. His death has left them devastated, raising more questions. The family claims the late Desmond Barak had head injuries, while the hospital insists the disease was brought by a Good Samaritan who said he had been involved in an accident.
Inasemekana alipata accident tarehe 26 mwezi uliopita. Aliletwa na msamaria mwema. So tushangaza ni ya kwamba hakuna details ambayo ilichukuliwa ya huyo msamaria mwema.
Hiyo gari ilimleta, ni gari gani ilimleta? Ndio at least tujue alipatikana, hata kama aligongwa kwa barabara gani. Juu umejua kitu inafanyika, tukiangalia hivyo walisema alikuwa na head injury.
Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital maintains that Desmond was brought to the facility in critical condition and received treatment for a day before succumbing to his injuries, but there is no records of the person who brought him. The family is demanding answers and CCTV footage to establish whether Desmond Barak arrived at the facility dead or alive.
Tumejaribu watutolee hiyo CCTV footage. Hadi sasa bado hatujaonyeshwa.
Tumefanya everything that can give us even a leeway of who brought Junior here, either dead or alive. But we have not been able to succeed in that line. So our demand to the government, to the people in the authority, Coast General at large, watusaidie. Tujue ni huyu ndugu yetu aliletwa hapa na nani. Tupate kujua ni aligongwa wapi, akiwa na nani, wakifanya nini.
Police have launched investigations while a post-mortem examination is expected to be conducted. Francis Mtalaki, Citizen TV, Mombasa.
Airtel Africa has partnered with Starlink to expand internet access in underserved and remote areas using satellite technology, a move set to boost data speeds and improve coverage in rural regions where fiber and mobile networks are limited. Speaking in Nairobi, Airtel Africa CEO Sunil Taldar said the collaboration will use satellite broadband to power remote base stations and provide satellite backhaul, cutting the need for costly fiber rollout across vast regions. Agreement signed in May 2024 enables Starlink's capacity to be integrated into Airtel Africa's network. The second phase will launch direct-to-cell technology, allowing compatible smartphones to connect directly to low Earth orbit satellites, with rollout expected from 2026, pending regulatory approvals across 14 markets, including Kenya.
To meet the growing needs of data needs of our customers, we are making significant investments in improving data capacity so that we are able to provide great data experience to our customers.
We find ourselves in an era of rapid transformation. The demand for reliable, affordable connectivity has never been higher, and digital inclusion is moving from a goal to reality.
And the war against new HIV infections has literally received a shot in the arm. This after a new batch of HIV preventive injectables arrived or landed in the country just a few days ago. I sought answers on lenacapavir, which is the HIV prevention injectable. Listen in. Kenya has received its first batch of lenacapavir, a long-acting HIV prevention injectable that is administered twice a year. I'm joined by Dr. Andrew Mulwa, head of the National AIDS and STI Control Program, to help us understand what this means for the country's HIV response. Thank you for speaking to us, Dr. Mulwa. Who is this injectable specifically targeting, and how is it administered?
Thank you very much. First, as a country, we celebrate to have received the first quantities of lenacapavir, which is a long-acting injectable HIV prevention drug, which is administered to anybody who is at risk of getting HIV, and is a drug that the scientific breakthrough got approvals in June last year, and within 7 months we already have the product. I think that's a major milestone because previous breakthroughs usually get to this part of the world 4 or 5 years later. The product that we have in the country target the populations that are at risk, and this, I mean, adolescents and young people, discordant couples, and any other people who are HIV negative but are at risk of getting HIV. It's administered subcutaneously, and that therefore means it's an injection that is done to the skin, and is done once every 6 months. But for the first dose, one has to take some oral medication for 2 days to ensure that safety or the prevention properties of the drug take effect immediately.
Now, if someone is on this injectable PrEP, are they required to use additional preventive measures such as condoms?
PrEP will prevent you against HIV, will not prevent you from getting other STIs, and that therefore is still recommended that one has to exercise caution when having unprotected sex with use of condoms to prevent STIs.
When you don't take your dose after those 6 months, what happens?
I think the clinical research has shown that the efficacy of this product is 6 months. So any period after 6 months, your protection is lost. Then also, again, the other thing which is very important, one has also to be negative, at the time of getting the injection.
I want to talk about how this drug will be dispensed. How will people be accessing it? Will it be controlled under a special register? Will it be only available in government facilities, or will it be accessible over the counter?
The long-term plan is to have this product available in the whole market, where the private sector, private pharmacies, private hospitals, clinics are able to administer, including the public facilities. But the products that we have in country, which is now what we have in the immediate, are only going to be available in selected public health facilities, which we have shared a schedule of how we are going to roll out first 15 counties with the highest burden of new infections, then we move to the next 15, and finally the last 17. Of course, what we are trying to do is to learn in terms of training healthcare workers, making sure that the supply chain system is working, the monitoring and evaluation systems are working. That's why we are moving in a phased manner. Otherwise, we do not want to balkanize any part of the country and say these ones can have access and these ones would not have access. So within a year, we should be rolling out to the 47 counties. We will use the routine reporting tools that we have had.
And there's need for clarification on the cost of 7,000 Kenya shillings. What exactly does this mean? Is this the amount that Kenyans accessing this drug will be paying?
So this is the global access price negotiated between multilateral WHO, UNITAID, UNAIDS, UN Women have come together and have a global alliance on HIV, have discussions, and have been given access price of 7,800. For us as a country, the products that are in country today are being to be accessed to the clients for free. We are not charging. Clients will access just like they access other program commodities for HIV for free.
And what do we know about where else this drug has been used? Are there known side effects as well?
We are proud to say that Kenya was part of the countries that undertook the clinical trial. I think there are countries in Europe, there are countries in South America, there are countries in Asia. I think about 9 countries. I think in Africa there are like maybe 3 or 4 countries, Kenya, South Africa. I cannot remember whether it was Zimbabwe or Zambia. And clinical efficacy, safety, every profile was studied and has been found to confer 99.9999% protection against HIV, which is 100% protection, so to speak. There are no known side effects other than pain and swelling at the injection site.
Finally, how do you see this injectable change in Kenya's HIV prevention landscape?
To me, I would say it's a game changer. It's a breakthrough in terms of realizing ending new HIV infections. It's one of the scientific breakthroughs that we think realistically pushes the country towards ending HIV and epidemic control. I think if you look at the statistics now, the number of new HIV infections and the number of deaths are almost equal per year in the country. And for us to achieve epidemic control, we need to have less infections than deaths. And I think this promises to do that. And Kenya is part of the global community whose target is to end HIV as a disease of public health importance by 2030. And Kenya has committed to end new HIV infections in children, to end AIDS in children by 2027.
Dr. Mulwa, many thanks for your time.
Thank you, Lillian.
Government to establish deposit guarantee fund for SACCOs to protect members from losses.
Business News brought to you by Safaricom Business.
With Lipa na M-Pesa, manage payments imekuwa rahisi. Join Safaricom Business today and power your progress.
Let's talk business now. And the National Treasury has confirmed the successful pricing of a new $2.25 billion eurobond, a move aimed at refinancing existing debt and easing pressure on Kenya's repayment schedule. The dual tranche issue will finance the ongoing buyback of part of the country's 2028 and 2032 eurobonds and support broader budgetary needs. The government says the strong investor response reflects the growing confidence in the country's economic outlook and ongoing debt management reforms. Here now is Jasmine Wamboy with that story.
The country has returned to global markets to seek $2.25 billion to buy back older debt and meet budgetary needs. And the National Treasury now says that the country has achieved successful pricing of the new Eurobond. The new Eurobond has 2 tranches. The first is $900 million at an interest rate of 7.8%, maturing in 2034. This first tranche will be repaid in 3 equal installments between 2032 and 2034, giving it an average life of 7 years. The second tranche is $1.35 billion at 8.7%, maturing in 2039. It will also be repaid in 3 equal installments between 2037 and 2039 with an average life of 12 years. Treasury says demand from investors was strong, with orders exceeding the amount on offer. The funds raised will partly finance the ongoing buyback of Kenya's older Eurobonds, up to $150 million of the 2028 bond and up to $350 million for the 2032 bond, including accrued interest. Any remaining proceeds will go toward general budget support. The results of the buyback are expected on February 26th. Treasury says the transaction is part of a broader plan to spread out Kenya's debt repayment over a longer period, reducing the risk of large amounts falling due at once. The successful issue also follows recent credit rating upgrade by Moody's, which cited lower default risk, stronger foreign exchange reserves, and improved external balances. Jasmine Wamboi, Citizen TV.
The government plans to establish a deposit guarantee fund for SACCOs to safeguard members' savings, according to the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Patrick Kilemi. The proposed fund will mirror protections offered to commercial bank depositors, cushioning SACCO members against losses in the event of institutional collapse. Jimmy Mbogo has more on the additional reforms planned within the SACCO sector.
The reforms in the SACCO sector are expected to provide a safety net for SACCO members while ensuring that, through amendments to the SACCO Society Act, the regulatory body will have the tools to address the challenges the sector faces. According to PS Kilemi, the planned guarantee scheme comes amid rising concerns about governance weaknesses and cases of mismanagement in parts of the cooperative movements.
In the next 6 months, we can say with confidence that we have a new legal setup, matters SACCO Act. And why these reforms are important, it is because when you talk about deposit guarantee fund, it is deposit insurance, and we have it within our banking sector. The Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation guarantees depositors within the banking sector that if a bank goes down, depositors are guaranteed to be at least be refunded a minimum of 500,000.
In addition to the guarantee fund, the government intends to empower SASRA with broader oversight powers, including the authority to vet SACCO leadership before they assume office. This, the government hopes, will ensure that only individuals with the required professional threshold will manage members' funds.
You know, you have a band of people losing all their life savings because of bad leadership. We are introducing a provision where top managers will be cleared, eligibility to serve, fit and proper test. Do you as delegate, when the board presents to you a finance director, it is not just the board who has presented to you. SASRA and the Commission of Cooperatives will be vetting the character, they will be validating the background, and the government, their systems.
The reforms were announced during the annual delegates meeting for the police deposit-taking SACCO, which saw the announcement of a 4.1 billion shillings dividend payout to members. This coming on the backdrop of a growing loan book, asset growth, as well as membership growth.
The Board of Directors wishes to recommend the payment of dividends on share capital at the rate of 17%, amounting to 624.3 million, and interest on tipos at a rate of 11%, amounting to 3.5 billion, bringing the gross total to 4.1 billion in 2025, compared to 3.9 billion in 2024.
Jamie Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Business News, brought to you by Safaricom Business.
With Lipa na M-Pesa, kumanage payments ni kwa rahisi. Join Safaricom Business today and power your progress.
And that's business. Emmanuel Ndungu is up next with all the day's sports.
Welcome back to the program. My name is Emmanuel Ndungu. Let's get into the sports news. The Kenya golf fraternity breathed a huge sigh of relief after their only hope at the magical Kenya Open, and Njoroge Kibugu made the cuts with his last stroke of the ball. And as our sports editor Mike Okini reports, Kibugu hit the target with the last bullet in his magazine.
After an impressive round 1 score of 4 under par 66, Njoroge Kibugu was comfortable in round 2 and picked a birdie at hole number 7 to go 5 under par. Things changed in the second 9 as 2 bogeys in the 12th and 14th holes dropped his score to 3 under, 1 shot below the projected cut of -4. He played safe in the next 3 holes to remain in contention at the 18th hole. Despite the tension and a huge crowd at the 18th, Njoroge sank in the putt for an eagle, enough to take him through to the third round.
Going in there, I just gave the drive everything I had, hit it down there. Second shot, I had 226, not too much wind. Wanted to hit a 5-iron, but there was adrenaline pumping. Ended up hitting a 6-iron. I didn't expect it to go as close as it did. I was trying to hit the center of the green, but it came out hot. And yeah, I had a 4-footer to finish, and the rest is history.
After faltering in the 2 holes in the second 9, Njoroge says his gamble was to make the best at the par 5 18th hole, what they call one of the easiest holes in the competition.
When I bogeyed 14, I was kind of holding off. You know, if I got one on 15, 16, and 17, I would have been happy, but I wasn't too close. So I knew 18 was probably my best bet.
His father was there too, and he rarely comes out on the course to watch the boys play.
Didn't even expect him to be there. But yeah, it's amazing to see. He was so happy. And it's nice sharing the emotion with him, you know. He's poured his heart and soul into me playing golf his whole life. And I can't be more grateful to him and my mom. They're the reason I'm here. And yeah, I'm happy he's happy.
Njoroge's score of 1 under par 69 today included just 1 birdie and an eagle for a score of 5 under par 135. For the second time in his career, Njoroge Kibugu has made the cut at the magical Kenya Open. The first time that he made the cut, he was an amateur player. Right now, he's made the cut as a pro. And the last professional to make the cut again at the magical Kenya Open was his brother, Mutai Kibugu, way back in 2023. Michael Kinyi for Citizen TV at the Karen Golf and Country Club in Nairobi County.
The National Men's Volleyball League continued on Friday with entertaining matches across the day where no major upsets were registered. GSU came out with their guns blazing in the first match of the day to thrash NYS 3-0. AP came from a set down to disarm Kenya Army 3-1. And the KDF versus Prisons match was also a 4-set thriller with KDF winning 3-1. More thrilling action is expected on Saturday in the third day of competition at the Kasarani courts. And to finish off, with less than a month to the WRC Safari Rally in Naivasha, local drivers have intensified their preparations for another projected wet rally. Two-time African Rally champion Karen Patel has pitched camp in Stony Athi for a series of tests for his Skoda Fabia R5. Karen says testing in Athi River allows the crew to fine-tune the suspension, braking points and overall balance of the car for the anticipated rough conditions. With 20 stages packed into 4 days, consistency and smart driving will be key. A total of 46 crews have signed up for the 2026 edition, which will feature a refined schedule comprising 20 special stages covering a competitive distance of 350 kilometers. Patel will be part of a strong regional contingent rallying under the KCB sponsorship banner alongside Nikhil Sachania, Tinashe Gatimu, Rwanda's Queen Kalimpinya and Uganda's Oscar Ntambi.
A good feel. Been testing with pretty worn out tires, so you know, we've compensated for that. The car's been a bit loose on feeling, but nonetheless, I know once we have some new shoes on it, then everything will be working in good order. We put it through its paces today. A good track here at the location we're at. So yeah, looking forward to, you know, a successful safari rally this time around.
And that is all the sports news that we have for you this evening. My name is Emmanuel Ndungu. We finished with a bit of motorsport there. The Safari Rally is upcoming next month. And for other motorsport fans, Formula One pre-season testing concluded tonight. The Australian Grand Prix, the first race of the season, is on the 8th of March. But tonight, Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari was phenomenal, very fast. So it might be Ferrari's year. For the first time in forever.
Wow.
The last time Ferrari won the championship was 2008.
Is it?
Yeah, Ferrari, such a big name.
That's been a long, yeah, such a big name, I know.
Exactly. But fantastic stuff that we're expecting soon.
Definitely, yeah. And lots of reactions from you as well around the new revolution in HIV prevention. That's the introduction of the HIV injectable drug right here in the country. Somebody here is saying short-term solutions sold to gullible lab rats. The globalists collect the profits while the excited lab rats live with the consequences of long-term side effects. But as you've heard from, the doctor there, zero side effects, and also, clinical trials having been done extensively. And at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to end new HIV infections. Somebody's also asking, a lot of you are asking, how much is it? It is free of charge. Again, this was clarified by our guest tonight. It is free, so you can access it free of charge in any public hospital. Many thanks for watching. That's all the time we had tonight. My name is Lillian Muli. Our sign language interpreter tonight was Yula Nzale. Emmanuel, want to say something as we close?
Yeah, not much. We just have a good weekend of sports coming up as usual, so we'll be here to report on it. Everyone enjoy your night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.